It's very important to understand here in terms of placement that it's not just you can say I will do it and that will be done. You need to plan because there are some key skills we are expecting from you to learn. And I'm sure you need some support as well. Maybe possible we will ask you, for example, what is your current job title, with the screening, the QR you will receive it. The first important thing is you need to respond as soon as possible, please, because chase up takes a lot of time, and obviously we need to speak to the companies, we need to sometimes talk to your employer as well. There's a very common question, students saying, can we do placement with our current employer? Yes, you can do it, but not with the same job title you did last time. Okay? We encourage you to go for another employer because it's better to have more experience with different companies. But obviously your situations depend, so you can discuss with us. But the most important thing is you should be trying on the managerial kind of skills development now. The reason is because literally after this you have 1 more year, and after that you will be a graduate. And that time, level 6 time, we will be supporting you for graduate jobs now. So if you don't have any kind of managerial experience or senior leadership experience or team leadership experience, it's very hard. It's very challenging for you to apply for some very good jobs or graduate level jobs in the market. So this is very, very important. So make sure, in terms of placement process, I think you will see a diagram where remind obviously the team, they will be putting the processes into the classrooms. So you can see the entire process. It's a very comprehensive hard work they put the team this time. So you can see the steps. So what step 1, 2, 3, so you know what exactly you have and where exactly you reach. So that's not a problem. I think you have done good on level 4, that's why you're sitting here. Any questions you have regarding the placement, anything you want to ask me before obviously team will go into more detail? Or anything you think we can support you for placement point of view?
No, I'm giving the question.
You all know placement, right?
Yes.
This is very important to understand. Placement is a work experience, remember. But when you go for higher role, you need to do a little bit more time management, more negotiation skills, because maybe possible you're going to do placement in a company and you're saying, can I work as a manager for 150 hours or whatever hours you're doing. Maybe they will not accept you in first instance. They will say, how? You're not a manager. So it's a matter of discussion. So what will happen? The most important thing, we do visits as well. Now this is something I want to tell before I invite Rima here. Once you give us the data, the information about your current jobs, this is called initial screening. We'll get it. We will screen through. Screen through is called due diligence. We need to perform a due diligence. Due diligence means once you give me that information, we check within our system, we cross-check with some requirement like health and safety, and company is a legit company. For example, is the company big enough that you can learn something? You get my point? Because if it's a very, very small organization and you're taking a very high role, we need to check. So there are a lot of basics checks we do. We have a checklist from Leeds Trinity University, and that is called placement checklist. We do a due diligence checklist. So we cross-check, it's all ticks are done. Once it's done, you will get an email that your information is okay. Good. Then we discuss with you, do you what's fine. Then you will receive another QR. And that QR, like a code, means your placement data. Right? That information which you are going to give us, that will be considered as your placement information, the second QR. First one is not. First one is what you're currently doing. So you need to write whatever you're doing. But second one you need to write very carefully, because you've already spoken to your manager, you've already spoken to another company, and you're getting a confirmation. So give us that data. So once you give us that data, it'll come back to us. Again, the team will feed and we will go through with LTU as well. We'll discuss it. Job titles, company addresses, company name, obviously. Does your company has a registration with different, it's in the form as well. So once it's done, we will reply you as an email. We will confirm you. Yes, your placement information is accurate. It means it's okay. Then you will receive a form. So they will explain to you the entire process. But the most important thing I want to tell you, please, when you fill the form, fill it full. Do not just fill some information and if your information is not there. Signature is missing. Date is not correct. It's a serious matter. Because if date is not missing and signature is not there, we are not accepting it. Because it's not completed. Because your manager has not signed it. But obviously team will explain you more later on this process, I think. I don't know whether we will do it today as well, but I think the process you can look into it and then it will go. So any other questions you have in mind for the placement? Yeah, Rima, you want to come? Any stage, like we are downstairs, you know that, so you can always come, but please Rima, if you can.
I have some common question. If you
Yeah.
want, we can add that slide here.
Yes.
I can go there. This is the one. We can go through that.
Yeah. Okay. So you see, this is the frequently asked question, you can say, the team has created, because just to help you, to support you, but it's not exhausted to this list. You can always ask anything. You can see there are a lot of questions. For example, why do I have to complete placement? Anyone wants to tell us? Why do you think placements needs to be completed in this course?
To get experience.
Okay. Anything else? If you don't do placement, what's going to happen in level 5?
That we can't go the work straight away without any experience.
We're not pass. We're not pass.
Very simple.
It's fail. It's straight away
It's a
fail.
mandatory requirement. You must do the placement.
Yeah.
You don't have a choice. In level 4 you had, remember, professional challenge, but not this one. What are the most important consideration in terms of form filling? I think there will be some training as well, which Rima will conduct, where we will show you, the forms. I'm sure maybe we have done with you already in level 4. I think some of you maybe attended.
We know, yeah.
Yeah, so form filling, obviously every field is important. Placement start date and end dates are the most important. I think block dates we will be making available. And the good thing is we have placement handbooks this time. We will be uploading it for you. Have a look. These are completely handbooks. All the dates are there. So
Nice.
please make sure when you're agreeing with your line manager or with a different company for placement, can you please stick with the dates?
Yes.
And placement form will take the right start date and end date. But I want to mention here, if your placement, for example, end date as per block is 15th of April, please do not complete your placement on 15th of April.
Before that.
Because you need to write a report, remember? For 2000 words. So when you will get a time. So try to plan your placement, finish earlier than the date, so you have enough time to write it. So this is something very, very important. Obviously, but if I cannot find placement, we are here, we can find some placement for you, that's not an issue, but you can contact us and you can let us know. You can walk in to the department as well. When do I have to complete placement? As like I said, look into your placement handbooks and the sign infographics, we're going to put it for you with the date. So please make it, because this is one of the key challenges we face. A lot of students put the date and that date doesn't match. So that can be a lot of hassle for you. What are the block dates? There are two things in level 5. Placement block date means there is a specific start date and there is a specific end date. So your placement should happen between these two dates. But in level 5 there is a called flexibility. You can start your placement earlier, you can finish earlier. We can do that. But how earlier? What is the time frame? You can start your placement in term 2. That's not a problem. But we don't recommend you start in the week 1 because you have not learned the reflection. So at least 4 weeks you learn, 5 weeks you learn, then you start doing. But you can start early. But please do not complete after the date. You must complete. So this is the difference between block date and flex. But everything is in your handbooks anyway. You can look into it. When and how do I can scan the QR code? Rima, you want to step into this? So that scan QR code will be in the email as well, isn't it?
Yes.
And you want to step in? You can. Yeah, please.
So when you guys will be receiving the scan, there will be 2 QR codes, if you remember.
Yeah.
So QR code 1 is for where you guys are working. You guys already did that during term 1. Many of you, I think 1 or 2 already live. We will check our records. So you guys know where you guys are working. You guys give us the detail. From there, we get to know okay, this is what our learner are doing. This is help us to understand what our learners are doing at the moment and how we upskilled them to the next level during their placement. And then when you're ready, you found your placement, we will provide you QR2. QR2 only the information about when you start your placement, who is the placement provider, who is the what will be your job position and placement. So that is actually QR2. So that is the reason we say QR codes is really important. You need to scan it and give us the information, because this is where we are getting all the information and we can provide you the right support. because even though you're giving us the QR code too, that doesn't mean actually your placement has been approved. You secure a placement, but we have to do from our point of view, our part is the due diligence check. We cannot confirm your placement until or unless the due diligence has been confirmed. So there will be probably amendments and also negotiation as well. You have to go back to your employer because we didn't approve your placement and we already put our expectation what it need to be, and you have to go back to your employer to negotiate more. So this is the stage we normally take like 2 to 4 weeks time. So it's really important every single stage you understand. If you don't understand, come back to us. We will explain it again and again. And keep it on mind whenever we are trying to give you any kind of deadline, you guys are giving us all the information by the deadline. It will help us to process and go to the next stage. Do you guys have any more questions for this, for the QR codes? We will come back to the process again. I will show you the process today. There is one more question. When will I get form 1, 2, 3? Form 1 you guys already know. Level 4 is going to know as well. Once you secure your placement, one due diligence done. Once we said yes, all the information is fine, we will send you the form 1. This is where you have to complete your form 1. You have to send it back to us. You are not meant to start your placement before submitting your form 1. But there is a but. You know you submit your form 1, but you don't know whether this form 1 accepted or not. Probably there are some missing information, there are something need to be amended, and we didn't confirm the form 1. So don't start your placement until you receive a confirmation email from us, which you will receive after form 1 accepted. So we have to receive the complete form 1. Once it's done, we will send you a confirmation email. Okay, your placement has been approved with that provider and during that date and start and end date. So this is how we do form 1. Once your form 1 submitted, you have your confirmation email ready. You have to wait for the right day to start your placement. The day you gave us, you confirmed us, this is the day I'm starting, this is the day I'm finishing. Remember that should be the day have to carry on during your placement journey. During each and every single form should be the same date, start and end. If any exceptions happen, you cannot decide by yourself, okay, I give 1st of February, but I am starting 5th of February. You have to let us know. We need to know something changes. For any kind of exceptions, I understand life can be challenging. You have to come back to us so we can take the appropriate step and we can let your university know about this as well. Okay? Form 2 and 3. Form 2 is the hours log sheet. It will be going to you guys, and Form 3 is the one is feedback report. It's going straight to your employer, but we will be copying you in. So you are aware about it. Your placement form has been sent out to your employer. What is the difference between placement forms and reflective diary? So placement forms, you all know. First one is health and safety check and employer agreement. You guys will be giving us before start your placement. Placement form 2 is the activity, what you do day-to-day basis during your 50 hours for level 4 and 150 hours for level 5. So all the activities should be recorded there. And form 3 is the one is coming from the employer as a feedback. So you guys have done well, employer is happy with you, employer is wishing you something and telling you something, giving you some feedback. So that is form 3. So these are the placement form is done. Once you give us the placement form back, that is the time you need to write down also your diary. You can write along as well, because diary there is a template. You have to write down, answer all the question, and that need to be submitted to Turnitin. So that's actually the biggest difference we all need to understand. Placement forms, we have 3 of them. It has to be come back to us, to placement department. Reflective diary is something you need to write it down your words. How was your placement journey and what is the learning outcomes and everything. And that need to be submitting through the Turnitin by the deadline. You cannot bring the assignment and reflective diary and telling us, okay, I need to submit now and it's after the deadline. There is no link. Link will be disappear. So please keep this on mind. Where do I submit the forms? So you have to submit the forms to us. You all sure about it, right? How many hours of placement do I need to complete? For level 4 business, you guys are doing 50 hours. Level 4 people online, I hope you guys already heard that. And for level 5 business, all of you guys are doing 150 hours. How many hours, are we allowed to share placement forms with each other? Unfortunately, no. Your placement journey is yours. Your form is yours. However, it's the same form, but every single individual's journey is different. probably I approved your placement today, I send you confirmation email, I send you form, but next to you sitting, your peers, she didn't give me all the information. So if you actually sharing your form to her, that means she is thinking, okay, I can do it as well. But her information is not with me. So I cannot approve her placement, there is no way. So please do not share your forms with each other. Your form is yours. I'm going back to I think I have covered pretty much all the expected question. Do you guys have any question?
No.
The online people, do you guys have any question? I think someone raised hand. Mihai?
She has some questions about the forms which I will be dealing with. I'll be.
Oh, okay, that's fine if it's been already addressed. So, can I please start the placement process very quickly? If you can see the process for online, can you guys see that? There is a light.
Did you join from page?
Yeah.
This one we just need to see. This one.
So I'm starting from placement process. You guys can see we have, I would say it's 16 stage to make you guys more understand. You guys can count or you guys can check which stage you are standing. So before I start the process, I want to say we have some color code you can say. So we have 3 stages of placement. One is pre-placement, which is all the blue colors in the picture you can see. And during placement, which is the time you are doing your placement journey, and the red ones is post-placement, after completing your placement. So during your placement, you have to give us the QR code. Some of you already did because you guys term 2. Some of you didn't. You guys have to. We will be visiting the class. We will be doing the initial screening. That is called the initial screening. When you give us QR 2, provisional placement information, we will be checking that. Once your information is ready to go, we will be doing due diligence check. During your due diligence check, it might take 2 to 4 weeks time. It might not even take 1 week time. It depends how fast we can you can give us the information and how accurate it is. So it can take up to 2 to 4 weeks time. Every single person can take different time. So once your placement due diligence done, it's approved. That is the time we have to send you form 1. I already mentioned that. Once you receive your form 1, you have to give us the completed form. Every single time you guys are giving us the incomplete form, that every single time it will bounce back to you. So you have to work on it again and again until it gets complete, because you cannot approve your placement. So keep this in mind. The faster you will do, the faster it will be approved. So then your placement will be approved because we received the right form. So once we receive the right form, you will receive a confirmation email. Your placement has been approved. This is the dates and this is the organization you will be doing your placement. Once you receive that organization email as well, that will be sent it to your provider. We will be copy your placement provider along with you to let you know your placement has been confirmed and this is the right organization you are doing your placement. So then when it's placement reminder, we will be sending to your provider before start your placement, and also to you. Your placement is ready to start. This is the time you will be beginning your placement. So before start your placement. Then we will be sending form 2 to you guys and also copy your provider. Form 2, which is hours log sheet, before your placement start, because you need to write down your day-to-day activity, all the breakdown of the hours. So once you receive form 2, at the same time we will be sending the form 3 to your employer, and we will be sending them our expected date. What is the date we are requesting them? We are expecting them to send it back to us. This is also your responsibility to let them know. Please, you need to send us my form 3 to my employer. So to my college, so I can at least check and do. They can at least check and grade me. So you guys also have to chase for that, please. Form 3, once it's done, your placement will be begin. During your placement, we will be doing visiting. Visiting can be happen during different sources. It can be online, it can be on site. So we will do visit, we will arrange that visit with your employer. So you guys don't have to worry about that, because we will contact with your employer to arrange the visit. So we will be doing visiting during your placement. We will be also checking you during your placement, just how you feel. Remember that placement is most of the time happening after your term, term 10, week 10. So this is the time, if you have any kind of question, you don't feel okay, you feel you are overwhelmed because you're also doing placement or you're also working, anything, something like this happen, please come back to us. So we can actually provide you the right support. Don't feel you are alone, because we are with you guys. So once your placement done, placement visit done, placement student check-in done, your placement has been completed as well. So there is the responsibility for you to chase your employer for form 3, because you have completed your placement, and also send us the form 2, because you have completed your hours log sheet as well. So please send it back to us. Make sure all the forms again completed. Like form 1, we have to keep sending back to you for your hours log sheet, because you didn't complete it. So make sure all the blank parts, especially signatures, dates, are completed. And also form 3, you have to chase your employer so they can send it back to us. So once we receive your form 2 and 3, we will be sending you one placement feedback link, where you can give us the feedback, how was your placement journey and everything, which will keep us for that particular level, how was our placement and how was our learner's experience. Then it's end of your placement. So when you look at the process, it seems like very easy, because you can actually identify which stage you are standing. And what we are thinking, we will be putting that to every classroom, the way we did last time. So anytime you guys want to talk to your peers, talk to the colleagues, or talk to the teachers or us, and also you want to check by yourself, you can find it out in the classroom. I would like to invite my colleague to go for the initial screening and everything, so she can describe, because she will be coming to the class visit more. Thank you all.
Hi everyone. So, as we said, I'm Kushbu, I'm Assistant Placement Officer, and you'll probably be seeing quite a lot of me during your classes, and if it's not me, then it'll be Riaz. So basically, initial screening, I think most of you we probably have collected the information, but just as a recap, and for those of you who we haven't got information from, in terms of initial screening, we'll be getting information about your current employment status. So whether that's you're working somewhere, you're not working, you may be volunteering, whatever that may be, we'll be collecting that information from you, just so we can understand what kind of job role you're doing at the moment and how you can benefit from placement. So if you're doing something that's like, I don't know, customer assistant, for example, ideally we want you to be doing something that's more higher skill, where you're learning more skills, taking on additional responsibilities. And so that's basically why we're taking your initial information, so we can compare and try and get you to do more higher skill jobs essentially throughout your placement. After that, we'll be collecting your provisional placement information. So this is what we will probably be working on during this term, because I think most of you, we did, again, like I said, collect your information previously. Provisional placement information is basically where you plan on doing your placement. So we'll be collecting the information about the employer, what job title you'll be doing, the address, information, like contact information, so emails, phone numbers of your employers. So again, this will be a QR code which we'll probably come round with, and we'll also probably send you a link as well via email. Again, when we're collecting this information, we'll be asking you about the job responsibilities you'll be covering when you're doing placement. So these job responsibilities should be different to your current employment responsibilities. There should be more higher skill, there should be more additional, right? So please keep that in mind when you are giving us that information. And again, once we've collected this information, we will do our due diligence checks to make sure everything is secured, your placement provider is the appropriate provider for what you want to do. And once that is done, as we mentioned previously, we'll be starting the initial placement approval stage, which is your Form 1. Riaz, do you want to step into the forms?
Okay, so my name is Riaz from Placement Department. I'm just going to go through the forms. So once you have signed all QR codes and we are happy with the information we have got, we will give you Form 1, which is the Health and Safety and Employer Agreement form. Before you can begin your placement, this form needs to be completed by your employer and it needs to be sent back to us. This is basically so we know where you're doing your placement, your roles and responsibilities and your job title, and it's confirmed in paperwork. So once we have received your Form 1 and we have approved it in the sense where it is a good form, we are happy where you're doing your placement, your roles and responsibilities, etc., we will then give you approval in the form of an email. You cannot begin your placement until you have received that approval from us. So it may take a while, it may take a week or two, but you need to wait for that approval once you have given us the Form 1. Just because you have given us the Form 1, it does not give you automatic license to begin. So please bear with us, we will work as quick as we can in order for the placement approval process to be as smooth as possible. Form 2. So after you have your placement is approved and we have all of the information, which is perfect, you will be given Form 2. This form you will fill in during your placement. It's essentially a log of the hours that you do in placement and your key focus and activity. So on a day-to-day basis, just tell us what you are doing. In the key focus activity, what is it that you've done during that day and how many hours did you complete? All of those hours should log to the hours that you should be doing. For level 5, it should be 150 hours. Once you have done that, you will have your manager sign it and you will send the form back to us. Once the Form 2 is done, we will have Form 3, which is the employer agreement form. This is the last of the placement form, and this is to be completed by your employer. So once you have completed your hours, your employer would be expected to fill in a form basically outlining the feedback and how you were in placement. How did you find it? Were there any struggles? Were there any positives? To highlight any issues that were and to put it in the form essentially. That will be signed and emailed back to us, and once we have those 3 forms, they're basically the 3 forms that we require from you during your placement. In terms of visits, a key thing that we need to remind all learners, during your placement you will have a check-in or a visit. So essentially what that means is a member from the placement department, either me, myself, Kushbu, Rima, Mr. Usmani, will be conducting either visits where we go in person to speak to your employer. We can have it over the phone and we'll have it via Teams. We will essentially speak to your employers to see how you are coping in terms of placement and to also check that you are actually doing your placement. It's our verification process to ensure that all learners are giving us accurate information and we know that you are doing placement. So please keep that in mind. And just to add on as well, in terms of the information that you give us in all of your forms, they need to be accurate. Whether that's your employer's email address, employer's phone number, please make sure all of that information is accurate and up to date. And obviously post-placement. So these are the forms 2 and 3 that will be completed and sent to us. Yeah. Tips for success. Kushbu?
So we've just collated a very brief summary of the tips that we believe would make you successful throughout placement. So the first one will be check your LTU email regularly. So please make sure you have access to your college email because that is where we'll be sending the majority of our communications, whether that's links to the QR codes, links to the forms, any other information that we may need you to update or provide to us. So yeah, please make sure you have access. If you don't have access, please contact the IT team so that they can sort that out for you as soon as possible. Please don't come back to us last minute and tell us, oh, I don't have access to my email, so I can't send you stuff, okay? So please make sure you're keeping an eye on the emails. When you are emailing us, please make sure you email our placement email, which is wicplacement@wic.ac.uk. Please don't send it to LTU because it will just delay the process and we won't actually receive the email that we are expecting from you. So again, please keep a note of the email, make sure you're sending to the right place. As we've reiterated multiple times, please submit your Form 1 before starting placement. If we don't have a fully complete and approved Form 1, you cannot start placement. So you can't come back to us and say, oh, but I've already done 5 or 10 hours, because we won't accept that. Again, you have your placement block dates. There is that flexible placement opportunity, but please make sure whatever date you provide to us, you stick to those dates. And if for any reason whatsoever there are changes in those dates, you must inform us beforehand or as soon as you're aware so that we can update it and we can make sure that your placement is appropriately completed. Again, please cooperate and meet the deadlines. The longer you take to give us the information and provide us with the forms, the longer the process is, and it just takes, everything just takes much longer. So please make sure you're meeting the deadlines that we're providing, and if we are asking for any additional information or anything further from you, please ensure that you are providing that to us as well. And again, upskill your job position for placement. So like I mentioned earlier when I was mentioning about the QR code stuff, we want you to do something where you're learning more skills than what you're already doing and taking on additional responsibilities. So please keep that in mind and make sure you're taking on those responsibilities even while you're on placement. Just because you have the manager title, for example, please make sure the activity you're conducting is related to that job title as well. So you can show that you developed your skills, you developed your knowledge in that area. Again, if you do want to contact us, our office is downstairs, just further down from student support on the left. And we have our email and phone number as well for which you can contact us through. Potential resources you can use when sourcing placement. So this is just like a quick summary of where you can go to look for placement if you are struggling. So LinkedIn is a good platform for you. It's also good for you for the future because you can develop your profile and you can add everything that you've been doing throughout your time at uni as well as what you're doing outside of the college as well. Indeed, Glassdoor as well is a good platform where you can source placements from. We also have a walk-in service, so we conduct surgery hours. So if for any reason you are finding it difficult to source a placement, you're more than welcome to come into our office and we can sit down with you and try and figure out what it is you're looking for and try and provide you the best support possible in relation to that. We also have a number of career services that we're running. So we have the Alumni Network, we also have workshops, seminars and the SES Society. I don't know, do you want to speak a bit further about that? So I'm just going to pass over to Manthan, who speaks more about the student entrepreneurship side.
Hello everyone, we have Employability and Placements department downstairs as I told you guys already. They are looking over the placement side, but I am looking over the employability side, where I look over Student Entrepreneurship Society, where you can start your business and we will help you throughout the journey. We'll start with the planning, we'll start with location and whatever plan you have. We'll try to find you investment as well with Student Entrepreneurship Society. And we have panel set up for that with our employers, with our lecturers, with our principal. So please keep it in mind, if you want to start your business, you can come to me and we can help you with that. Also we have another service, Job Shop, where if you are looking for jobs or anything, if you want to interview training or if you want to write a CV for yourself, I can help you with that. Please do come and visit us for that. That's part of our employability services. Thank you. Anything else in my form placement?
Thank you, Manthan. I think we already covered the common question. This is our Q&A part. So if you have online and on-site, does anyone have any questions for us? Does anyone have any question? Please, this is the time. But also you can find us during class visit and also you guys can come and visit us.
All clear.
All clear?
Yeah. Thank you.
Did you guys understand? Online, no one even say anything yet.
Yes, all clear.